Welcome everyone. This is your WWE 2012 year in review. Now, this is my first full year watching the WWE. I've watched WWE sporadically in 2010, and I saw parts of John Cena and The Rock's confrontation in 2011, as well as some episodes of SmackDown at the end of the year. But 2012 is my first year watching them full time. And my first impression is that 2012, I thought it was a great year for WWE. One of the best years they've done in a long time. A lot of big matches, he had a lot of big moments. A lot of good moments too. There were some bad moments. So overall, it's a pretty good year. MVPs were CM Punk, The Rock, John Cena, and Brock Lesnar. Now, I started watching around the time of WrestleMania 28. The big match was John Cena and The Rock. And I loved everything that they did. This was a 3-year-long story arc, starting in 2011, between Cena and The Rock. WrestleMania 27, The Rock cost John Cena's match against The Miz. Next night on Raw, they made their match official at WrestleMania. I love their feud because it's somewhat real. Cena and Rock do have issues outside of the ring back then. The Rock left WWE as a part-timer. He goes Hollywood. Cena was making fun of that. Cena's been here for like 10 years. He has done everything he could. And he didn't like The Rock. He didn't like The Rock coming back, saying he was back. And then a few days later, he was gone making movies in Hollywood. Now today, John Cena is kind of doing the same thing. He's kind of a hypocrite, but back then, it's a different time, and it made good television. You had John Cena calling The Rock out, being a part-timer, doing this and doing that. You had The Rock making fun of Cena's character. He was corny. He was cheesy. It felt real. There was emotion. There was tension. It was a match that I've wanted to see for a long time. You had the face of the Attitude Era versus the face of the PG Era. Who's going to win? The last major match of this magnitude was like Rock and Hogan 10 years ago, WrestleMania 18. So you had Cena come out every week, talk about The Rock coming out every week, talking about Cena, and they all had a face-to-face confrontation. This led to their major WrestleMania 28 match, which The Rock won his hometown of Miami, Florida. Now, who was the heel? Who was the babyface? To me, the heel was John Cena. He was the heel. He was jealous of The Rock. He was. You can tell in his face, in his eyes, his emotions. He wants what The Rock has. Because The Rock is popular. The Rock was over. Cena was not as popular as The Rock. He always gets a mixed reaction. So he was jealous. Rock's the babyface. The Rock won. And this led Cena on a downward spiral to WrestleMania 29. So The Rock won. He shows everyone he's back. Some other bigger feuds that happened at 28 was Undertaker and Triple H. Shawn Michaels was special guest referee. This closed out a 4-year story arc. Started at WrestleMania 25. Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. They had a rematch at 26 where Shawn Michaels retired. WrestleMania 27, Triple H took the challenge, fighting The Undertaker at Mania, and lost. Next year, WrestleMania, Undertaker challenged Triple H again. At first, he refused. But when Taker brought up Shawn Michaels, Triple H had to accept. Michaels, special guest referee, this match was billed as an end of an era. The Undertaker wins, his streak goes to 20-0. Now, since the match is called an end of an era, I don't really know why Undertaker won. I think Triple H should have won, in hindsight. But at the time, Undertaker won. Probably the right decision. It's a pretty good match. It was Hell in a Cell. The bill was awesome. You had 4 years of storytelling. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Triple H, they are the best names in this business, as well as The Rock and Cena. So So this was an all-star extravaganza WrestleMania. You had The Rock, you had Cena, Taker, Michaels. You had a lot of big names. You also had CM Punk do a great feud with Jericho. CM Punk had like a nearly 2-year long reign as WWE champion. You had Chris Jericho coming in, trying to test him if he was really straight edge. He was making fun of his sister's alcoholism. It was a fun feud to watch. WrestleMania 28 is my favorite WrestleMania since I've been watching. Nothing has beaten that since. The main event was built very well. The WWE had a hard time following this for years to come. So, Raw after WrestleMania had some pretty big shoes to fill. And it did, but they did pretty well. You had The Rock come back. He wants the WWE title again. At the end of the night, it's all Brock Lesnar makes his return. Wow, Brock Lesnar's back. It's amazing. Him and John Cena stare down until Brock F5 Cena. And the crowd went nuts. And the next week they have a pull-apart brawl. This leads to John Cena versus Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules. However, the only problem is John Cena beat Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules, which kind of bothered me. I wasn't mad. Kind of am now, but it bothered me. Like, it's Brock's first night back in the company. You have him lose to Cena. I know Cena just lost to The Rock, so you have him lose to Brock Lesnar. That makes Cena look really bad, but you had to beat Brock Lesnar. Come on. Should have gave Brock Lesnar the win. That was a must-win for Lesnar. That was one of the mistakes that they made. Undertaker Triple H, WrestleMania 28, we'll talk about that later. Also continuing their feud to Extreme Rules was Chris Jericho. They fought in the Chicago street fight. So it was pretty good. CM Punk retains. So then we go on the road to SummerSlam. The next night on Raw, Brock Lesnar redeemed himself by attacking Triple H. He broke his arm. Now Brock Lesnar came out. He wants to make a bunch of changes to Raw. Wants to be Raw starring Brock Lesnar. Wants a private jet, and Triple H just said no. Brock didn't really like what Triple H was saying, so he attacked him and broke his arm. This led to the weeks of Triple H coming out and challenging Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman came out and he said no. It was weird because Triple H said no to fight The Undertaker. So he's kind of giving a taste of his own medicine here. So eventually we led to Raw 1000. The big night of summer. Raw's going to 3 hours full time. At that time I was excited because I only saw 1 hour of Raw. I watched the first half of it. I went to bed for school. And I recorded the second hour. So I get to watch another hour of Raw. I could watch 2 hours instead of 1. So it was the big night, July 23rd, 2012. You had Paul Heyman get slapped in the face by Stephanie McMahon. He finally accepted to the challenge. A couple weeks later, you had Brock Lesnar break Shawn Michaels' arm. This was a great moment. He hijacked Shawn Michaels' car. He dragged him out of the car, brought him into the ring. Triple H ran out and Brock broke his arm. Yeah, and next week, Triple H, Brock Lesnar had a contract signing. That led to their match at SummerSlam. Meanwhile, on the way to SummerSlam, you had John Cena. He was kind of going on a downward spiral. He had a fight through John Laurinaitis, in which he lost. He was getting dominated by the Big Show. But eventually won Money in the Bank. He found success. CM Punk had feuds with Chris Jericho and Daniel Bryan. And him and Cena face each other in the main event of Raw for the WWE title, which was an awesome match. I didn't know who was going to win. Part of me wanted Cena to win because The Rock showed up, confronted CM Punk. He made a challenge to the WWE champion, saying he will fight whoever the champion is at the Royal Rumble. I was interested in seeing a Cena versus The Rock rematch. John Cena did win the main event by disqualification. The Big Show came down. He caused a DQ, and all of a sudden The Rock comes out. He saves John Cena, and CM Punk was giving The Rock a weird look, like he didn't want The Rock to be there. The Rock was stealing a spotlight. He kind of was. CM Punk attacked The Rock while The Rock was doing the People's Elbow on the Big Show. He attacked Rock, gave him a GTS, and lays the Rock out. An exciting moment. Well, so far in WWE, they've been cooking with gas. Great storytelling, great matches. I miss that stuff now. I miss John Cena. I didn't really value his work at the time, but now I kind of do. SummerSlam. It was a big event. Sheamus retained his world title against Del Rio. Sheamus won the world title at WrestleMania by beating Daniel Bryan in like 16 seconds. In a triple threat match at SummerSlam, John Cena versus The Big Show versus CM Punk. CM Punk retains. His reign continues. The main event, Brock Lesnar vs. Triple H. Billed as the Eye of the Storm. Brock Lesnar wins. He breaks Triple H's arm again. And Brock Lesnar proves that he is at the top of the food chain. He is, what do you say, is the biggest attraction in sports. He's legit. Box office attraction. He hasn't lost a step. He's like what he was in the UFC. Only if he beats Cena. But whatever. The end of the year, WWE kind of cooled down. Some good stuff, some stuff I didn't really care for. Hell in a Cell, you saw CM Punk and Ryback. I liked the feud. The match, not really. CM Punk won by controversy. You had Brad Max, the referee, low blow Ryback. You should have had Ryback win the title or CM Punk win clean. John Cena, Dolph Ziggler. Their feud was pretty good. Dolph Ziggler won. Great. So Cena gets another loss. He's lost to Dolph Ziggler. He lost to John Laurinaitis. He lost to The Rock. I think he lost to Kane at the Royal Rumble. And was dominated by The Big Show and Brock Lesnar. I liked the feud. However, I didn't like AJ Lee and Vicky Guerrero sticking their noses in this feud. I didn't really like that. I like AJ Lee as general manager, but I didn't like Vicky Guerrero. They did some type of sex tape scandal. Didn't like that. Big Show and Sheamus fought Hell in a Cell world title. The Big Show wins. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Big Show and Sheamus. He was a worthy contender to Sheamus. He beat Sheamus. That was pretty cool. In the fall of 2012, it's notable for the Shield's debut. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. Guys that you know today are the top faces of WWE. Yeah. Both have been in WrestleMania main events. They all fought Brock Lesnar. They all won the WWE title. I think they all won every title. But the Shield returned, a Survivor Series. They beat up Cena, Ryback, and Punk. Yeah. I didn't really like the Shield a couple years later, so I didn't really care much about them. So, 2012, a big year. I thought it was a great year. I give it a 10 out of 10. Some mistakes, some problems, but it didn't really bother me all too much. Just made me scratch my head a little. But this year, so far, is the best year that I have seen. Will they keep up the good work in 2013? We'll see later on.